as Republicans, as conservative Republicans in 2009, we're talking a lot about the importance of running a disciplined campaign where you can build a majority around conservative issues. If you were in charge of structuring that campaign, what would be the issues, or I guess what would be the overarching message that Bret Schundler would focus on?
Well, the focus has to be getting tax rates down and spending down. I say tax rates because the Democrats will argue that if you lower tax rates, you'll lose revenue, and we already have a hole in the budget. And that's not true. Taxes in this state have become so high that rather than, incremental tax rate increases netting you more revenue, they're actually costing you revenue. So if we lower tax rates, we'll get more revenue. But it's not enough. You have to cut spending too. So we may not have to cut spending, the Democrats would come up with a model that says if you cut your tax rate by X percent, you're going to have to cut your spending by X percent. We should be cutting our, let's say, tax rates by 30%. And then you should be, you may be able to get by with only cutting your spending, say, 15% or 10%. Now, there's ways to do it, too. So first thing you have to do is you have to lower taxes, then you got to lower spending. The second thing, we should implement school choice. You should have a lot more charter schools, and you should, allow what I proposed was, very substantial tax credits for giving to charitable scholarship foundations, so that it can raise a lot of money and enable children to go into privately managed schools in our, particularly in our Abbott district, where most of those schools are. And you would save so much money at the state level instead of having huge increases in Abbott liabilities every year. So that not only helps your budget, but that dramatically increases educational opportunity, and it creates the kind of accountability for performance that you need to effectuate reform in the government system and improve the education being received there. And then again, as you know, life is very important. So I think we should try to ban partial birth abortion in the state. And I think it's a scandal that in New Jersey you can take a child 3/4 out of the mother's womb, you can have the baby in the doctor's hands, but then the crown of the head still in contact with the birth canal, and you can kill that child. To me,
it's barbaric.
How can anyone who actually thinks about it for a second? It's one thing for the public not to think about it, but if you are in leadership, how can you think about that? How can you give it how can you actually consider what the reality is and tolerate it? I find it incredible.
No, I think you're right, and I think particularly it's telling that as medical technology has improved, it seems as if you believe the public surveys anyway, general attitudes towards abortion, particularly late-term abortions, has changed dramatically, especially even among the younger generation, who I guess you'd think in a lot of respects wouldn't think that way. And I think you're right too. Looking at it from a political perspective, that type of stuff, it's things you can get a majority of the population around. It appeals to a lot of the same demographics that school choice does.
And one of the reasons I support Christie is I believe Christie will do this kind of stuff. And I think you just talked about, let's say, the imaging technology that exists. Having the state. Something that I credit DeFrancesco with doing is that he put money into Christie Whitman's last budget to provide free 3D imaging technology to all of her crisis pregnancy centers. And Christie Whitman cut it out, which I just find, to me, that went beyond, it was anti-conservative legislation.
Yeah, it's not just a crime of omission.
I'm going to take this out simply as you want it.
Exactly.
And she said, crisis pregnancy centers aren't about choice. They're about, you can't get an abortion there. But the reality is you don't have to go there. And what they do is to make sure the parent is informed about the fact that it is a human being and a child. If you go to a crisis pregnancy center because you want someone to give you that side that says, think about whether you really want to do this. And part of being able to make an informed decision is their ability to show you that child, alive in the womb. So, these are charitable enterprises that don't have a lot of money. These are expensive, pieces of equipment. The state legislature put the money in the budget, and Christy Women took it out. And I look at Chris Christie, and I think he'll be, very willing to put the money in the budget and to make sure that the technology is there and that you'll have lives saved.
I know there's a lot of us out there who, as I've already mentioned a couple times during the course of our conversation today, that think that New Jersey would be a different place today if you had been successful in 2001 or then again later in 2005. I obviously am not privy to whether or not you've even been asked or whether you'd be interested, but there's chatter out there, so I just have to ask you, have you been asked to be lieutenant governor, or at least told you're in consideration, and if you are, would you be interested in serving on Chris Christie's ticket?
No, I haven't been asked or informed. Either of those.
Would you be interested in serving?
I don't know if I even want to address that question. If they ask me that question, respond to it. But I don't know that I'd want to respond to it with yourself or anybody, other than that from them.
Completely fair. I won't take it personally. Well, listen, I greatly appreciate you taking time to talk to me today, though. This has been great. Like I said, it's a thrill since, you're the first Republican I had the opportunity to vote for statewide. And, I hope that no matter what happens, whether or not you're under consideration for that or whether you're thinking about doing something else in a more active political way in the future, you definitely stay involved, because I think that, from listening to our conversation today, anybody who wasn't aware now is that you definitely have a very intelligent, comprehensive knowledge of these issues that we could all really continue to benefit from. So I really appreciate it.